Zest versus Leenock.
Well, since they made the Daedalus fix, I'm really always happy to see a PVZ here, so I can figure out how to actually play this map now that you don't have to like proxy and stuff.
This is going to be fun. I want to see what Zest does here on this map.
Yeah, I want to.
When you get somebody new who's killing everybody like this, the real fun part is seeing how they take a map that's, you know, a little bit different from some of our other maps.
But Leenock is the type of player that you give him a map like this, and he's like even better than he is on other maps. He can get really scrappy, super good with speed and stuff like that.
He's very good at doing all-ins as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes on maps you don't expect him to.
Yeah, that's very true. And this is still a pretty wide ramp. Like, he could try something like that, but like all-ins against a 2-base Protoss are pretty difficult, if you ask me. And I think on this map, what Leenock really wants to do is take as quick a third as he can while being safe, and then just figure out what Zest is doing. Because, like, Zest, I think 100% is either going to do a 2-base all-in or a 3-base all-in. I really don't think he's going to go into a macro game beyond there, but we'll see. You know, this map kind of has to be re-explored because it's, you know, you can actually wall it in now. So,
Ro32, we have a Nexus and Forge opening here. This is one of the maps where this entrance that you have to wall in is actually kind of far away from the third. We know that Leenock does like to use mutas, which does make one small weird situation that can happen where, let's say the Zerg is going for heavy mutas. You have 3 spots to cover, or 4 if you have a third base, to cover with cannons, which ideally Protosses don't want to have to deal with that. They want everything to kind of hug around the Nexus.
Well, if he's wanting to play a longer game, he should open Stargate. If he's going to do a 2-base all-in, a Robo opening is quite nice, or possibly a Twilight opening.
Is that? Oh my God, they're cutting into that guy.
Yeah, it's a Zergling.
They're cutting into that Zergling.
Yeah, they got to see what makes him tick.
Going on that spacecraft.
Yeah, this is Daedalus Point, man. This is where they experiment on Zergs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty cruel.
That could be ET over there. That's what they were trying to do to ET, man.
I'm a Zerg rights activist. I think that this map needs to be removed.
I won't eat Zerg unless they were free reign.
You know what I think they need to do as a Zerg right activist? I want to make a petition that they replace all the Zergs that are being tortured with whales or dolphins.
I would prefer to have chimps or rats, but yeah.
Chimps or rats being tortured? Yeah, that would be fine as well. But, you know, either one.
What animal do they mostly experiment on? I believe it's rats first for most stuff.
I don't know. I think it's actually mice.
It's actually...
because they breed so quickly and have such quick lifespans.
It's actually so sad when you hear like some of the stuff that they actually do to animals.
Oh yeah, it's pretty terribly sad. But you know what? We've all taken medicine that was created.
It's true. Freaks me out, man.
We all wear a lipstick that was put in a bunny's eyes.
We all wear lipstick that was made from that one whale that had to go.
Ambergris, man. It's awesome. Okay, so we have a Stargate coming up. And this doesn't necessarily mean he wants to go into like a really long game or anything like that. I would venture a guess that there will be a third base. There are 2-base all-ins that involve getting a Stargate, but I don't know that that's what we're going to see from Zest. Leenock grabbing up all his gases.
Now, we just got to wait. I mean, the Stargate's going to finish up here. +1 attack upgrade's coming. And the teching goes on. And it's going to be Phoenixes. Not surprising.
Yeah.
He's sending that one Phoenix back. Probably to intercept this Overlord, which is eventually going to come in there. I'm going to look at what's going around. The only other Overlord that's out on the map right now that's vulnerable is the one in the center right, to the right of this Zalnaga watchtower.
Yeah, he's not going to get that many. Like, this is actually a really nice thing about Leenock's play is he doesn't really keep that many Overlords out for Phoenixes to get. Oh, you know what he's doing, actually? He's going to... This is a very old build. Looks like it's going to be some Phoenix harassment, clean everything up.
Oh, my God, he's going to see that Zergling getting tortured right there, too.
I think we're going to see a little bit of +1 Zealot attack. a little bit of his +1 Zealot pressure. Because that +1 Warp Gate and 3 Gateways are lined up pretty well overall.
Yeah.
If he's putting his Chronos into +1 attack at least.
Do you feel like this is a good build on this map? Because I don't know.
Well, I think
seems a bit strange.
it's completely fine on any map in which you can like kind of hide a pylon reasonably well.
I suppose that from that last game, he is hiding his overlords pretty well now because he doesn't want to lose them to Phoenixes. So Zest could just end up blindsiding him here.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We don't actually have a probe out on the map, though, so I mean, this may not ever happen. That is a possibility as well, even though he's got those gates so quickly. That might just have been a safety precaution for this game. And in fact, the build is kind of looking like what we saw in the previous game.
More gateways coming down here now.
Okay, well that is definitely a 2-base.
Yeah, 2-base
doubt about
time in here. So in the meanwhile, all he wants to do with these Phoenixes is get as many drones as humanly possible. If he got a queen like the last game too, that would be great. I can't imagine that Leenock will let that happen this time around.
Yeah, getting a queen would be actually kind of devastating considering he's really going to need those injects. He needs to keep his economy flowing, his production flowing. Because, as we were talking about before, when you go for a 2-base attack with Immortal's Colossus after a Phoenix opening, it's pretty deadly.
And he is going to get one more Phoenix out here. He hasn't done a tremendous amount of damage when you compare it to the last game. And he's actually going to go get a third here, Artosis, it looks like.
I feel like that's
a fake.
I feel like that's a fake. You don't go 6 gates into the third normally. Even if that's wide open, it's still like, huh, is that not too safe, Zest, if you do that?
He just got a Nexus.
Huh. Okay. Well, maybe it's not too safe. Maybe I underestimate Zerg's true power on Daedalu's point.
I notice he's been pooling more of the Phoenixes here.
Well, yeah. No, you know what? This isn't going to be an attack because he's making a Void Ray. So this is like actually just the safest third. This is like the third base that I was taking on maps like a year ago or something.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of lost Phoenixes here. This is a big mistake. Ouch. I mean, there's no way he should have done that, picking up those Phoenixes like that, or picking up those Hydras like that.
It was definitely a mistake.
So many, yeah. You got to book it, man. I mean, if you see 1 or 2 Hydras, that's fine, but the rate at which the Hydras deal damage, you got to get out of there, man. Yeah,
and in fact, if we look at what's going on here, Tasteless, Roach speed and Hydra speed at the same time, I think we're going to see a group of Corruptors being made as well.
Oh, he's going to blindside him with one of these rushes where you get the Corruptors, kill the Colossi, and the ground army's too strong.
It definitely could be that, yeah. Well, that is what he's going for, so we'll see if it ends up working out. Does he have? Is this going to be the third Void Ray that's popping out?
I think it's second. I'm not sure.
Yes, you're right. Second Void Ray popping out. So the 9 Corruptor's going to do a good job.
Okay,
and especially since he killed a lot of the Phoenixes. Those Phoenixes definitely would have helped a bit more in this battle.
The Corruptors are going to come out, so we should be seeing Zerg attack in the next minute here, unless he surveys Zest's expansion and decides that this is just too dangerous.
No, I think for sure he's going to push in. If he doesn't, this is just like that last game where this set of units doesn't transition well. Like, once Zest hits a max, this army will never do anything against it. Won't even scratch the surface.
4th base up and running now. Nexus cannon triggered.
All right, throws down a really nice Time Warp preemptively.
Yeah, that's a really good place Time Warp. Baits in some of this army.
All right, here we go. Those 2 Void Rays going to town, not really focus firing on anything, so the Corruptors end up killing off.
He's micro the Colossi very well.
Colossi taking some more damage, but actually the Void Rays holding tight. Some really perfect force fields going down. That one Colossi somehow still alive.
I don't know how on earth this Colossi is still here.
And it does go down.
And I think that the Protoss should be fine.
Yeah,
nicely done, especially that Immortal coming out there now.
A very nice hold indeed.
Zest is so good.
He's great, man. He's a really great Protoss.
I mean, that was so solid.
Well, after holding that, Leenock is in some trouble for sure. Tries to send out some Speedlings, knowing that the Colossi were taken care of, so he might be able to get something done. It's at least going to make Zest stay home for a minute. Slows down any counterattack. And he's going straight into just Mutas from here. There's only 2 Phoenixes out. Yeah. Leenock is a Muta user, that's for sure. So,
well, let's see how much damage he can do with those Mutas. The fourth base, by the way, doesn't have its gases taken, which would help out tremendously, considering Leenock's now hyper-focused on getting these mutas. Phoenix production has started up again, and Twilight Council's...
Well,
did he not have a Twilight Council? Am I crazy?
Yeah, he didn't before he just made it.
I guess, yeah, he never got that. Okay.
Well, you know what? It turns out okay because he had an observer down there that actually saw the mutas being made, and that is, like, really bad for Leenock because already we have more Phoenixes being produced, more Stalkers being pumped out, cannons being made, and he's teching up to even get in Pulse Crystals.
Yeah,
so,
with that Phoenix range, he's going to be in good shape.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty hard here for Leenock. And again, he has that patented Leenock creep spread. He is like actually so much like July Zerg. There's like one path of creep every game, and like just makes a bunch of units and like tries to make it work. And
there's only so many iterations of humans, man.
Yeah, there's only
so many iterations.
Yeah. Tasteless is one of a kind, though.
No, there's some other guy out there, I'm sure.
Exactly.
There's some other Tasteless.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, we have a good mix of units here from Leenock, considering that last attack, fell pretty short of what Leenock's expectations were of that. He doesn't have any sentries, right? This is just a Stalker army?
Yes, it is. And in fact, he has no splash damage of any sort. So while he doesn't want to attack into a little nook like we just saw right there, with his Lings, when this army comes out, if it doesn't have any splash, the Lings can be actually very, very effective.
He'll need to get an Archon or something out here, or at least get a Colossus. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of Corruptors now to threaten that. I mean, he could cover that with the Phoenixes as well.
Don't forget, though, that these Lings don't really have any upgrades at all, aside from speed. And he's actually just going to go for it. These Lings getting great surface area for a moment, but he does end up pulling back.
Nice control here again with those Phoenixes, really able to utilize them. Now the Lings are just in such a high volume right now, but it looks like the upgrades are going to be supreme here. And again, he can just look at this kiting, man. This guy is sick. Whoa, he's so sick.
Yeah, those Pulse Crystals, man. That's some good range. So good. And well, I feel like that.
God, he's so good with the Phoenixes.
Yeah. That's...
Lol, you cannot hit me. Can't touch this.
He needs to switch tech now, Leenock does. He can't just make mutas again. Okay,
there's a dead Ultralisk even on that bridge. Did you see that down there?
This is a Zerg graveyard.
This is a Zerg graveyard, my friend.
Yeah. It's a Zerg testing facility.
Damn.
Now
he's going to go back and get some Colossi out here.
Yeah.
The fourth base, by the way, is almost up and running here for Zest, but Zerg's fifth is now being taken over here in the upper right. Well, there were some drones there, but watch this.
Well, in the meantime, there is going to be a counterattack because a lot of Roaches and Hydras were made. And in fact, against a bunch of Stalkers,
oh my God, it's actually...
Yeah.
This could actually be quite bad.
Yeah, this is actually doing quite well.
Nice,
but he does have that Colossus, and that's very important. Now, the Phoenixes, as long as they stay at the side, yeah, just like this, they can pick up a lot of these Hydras. And oh my God.
Did they end up getting that Colossus? Where'd that Colossus go? Did he shoot that down from the high ground?
He may have, yeah. Didn't quite get to see.
Yeah.
But the Phoenixes came home just in time as well and helped to clean that up. And now what does Leenock do? Well, he's like, I guess I'll start upgrades now at 20 minutes since I've lost like 3 different compositions. But, yeah, I mean, obviously those are going to be pretty slow. And
with the DTs, he could actually get in there and start really killing a lot of drones. We have 2 Sty DTs. Is that what it's called, the Sty?
Sight.
Sight?
Yes. A Psy is what Raphael uses.
Thank you, of course, yeah. Like, are those nunchucks?
Do you not know anything about being a ninja?
No.
This is actually really embarrassing for me, Tasteless. I can't even believe this.
He can now take out
I can't bring you
fifth.
anywhere.
Dude, he can now take out the 5th.
Yeah, that's kind of brutal as well for poor Leenock.
Speaking of ninjas, you ever go to that site a long time ago, Real Ultimate Power?
Of course.
Great site. Very funny.
Yeah, it was when I was a young kid.
Yeah, man. When I was a young'un. So, yeah, he's going to take out the 5th base. I think this is going to be a slow, steady loss here for Leenock. A 2-0 win here for Zest.
Yeah.
I mean, Zest is just a step ahead, deflecting every attack.
Well, the strats that Leenock is using...
They're anachronistic.
Yeah, they're a little bit older, and... I mean, it's not that he can't win with them or that he's not good with them. It's just when you're playing, like, just a really solid Protoss. Like, these moves, I feel like these are moves that might kill SOS. Like, someone that's a little bit more on the edge of the metagame, like pushing things forward in that way. Doing things that might not work as well against the older stuff. He's doing stuff that works well against new stuff. Whereas someone like Zest is just like a very good, very strong Protoss.
Zest is just a very well-rounded Protoss, I think is what it is. He's just he's just solid. I mean, I think there's nothing too incredibly innovative about what he's doing. He's just clean.
All his play is good. It's really, really strong. And Leenock, his tech switches, his kind of wonky timings with anachronistic builds, they aren't doing much here. And now he's just like flying around with 13 corruptors, and he has 68 lings on the map that have like no upgrades, or just finally got +1 carapace. It's going into Ultra, so that's good. But well, no, it's not, because there's so many Void Rays being made. And if he wants to try to go against a 4-base Protoss with a 4-base Zerg, if he wants to try to go Ultra Corruptor, good luck to him. So that's like, if you have enough Void Rays, you simply win.
The Phoenixes have been worth their weight in gold this entire game here. Really allowing Zest to get in and get out and do the damage he wants to do. Now, we have some Ultras coming out here, and he's getting some upgrades for those Ultras. From here, I'm under the impression that the Protoss is just going to attack either towards the 5th or towards the main.
Yeah, I think he might just hit the main. Like,
that's one way to do stuff like this, is just hit the main. Oh, nicely done there! That's huge.
Yeah,
those
really
Phoenixes means the Colossi are a hell of a lot less safe.
Indeed, these Corruptors are going to have a much easier time now, but how many Void Rays do we actually have in that clump right now? Thing is, I feel like he just kind of has enough. We'll see, though, a lot of Zerglings coming in, trying to surround everything. Some good fungal growths going down. These Corruptors moving forward. Leenock actually doing quite a nice job.
The problem, though, is that the Colossi did their job before the air fight could be won. He needs to blink on that. There we go.
Yeah, those Lings just, and the thing is, he had enough Corruptors, it's just the rest of his army was kind of subpar.
I think that might be GG here.
Yeah.
So he's just moving in here and time warping those spy crawlers so they can't run fast. And yeah, that should be the game, which will make Zest our first person to survive Group B, moving on into the round of 16.
And so far, Tasis, we're keeping our perfect record.
Protoss only. Yay! This is so good for esports.
Good for esports, good for StarCraft.
Good for StarCraft, there you go. A tournament with 3 races and only one of them succeeding.
Yep. All right, so, yeah, Leenock.
GG.
All right, so Zest showing for sure he's the best player in this group. I'm not surprised to see him come out first. I don't think anyone that's really watching a lot of StarCraft right now is. He's just looking fantastic.
He's solid, man.
Leenock still has a chance to come out, though.
I wonder, though. I don't know who's going to win between Supernova and Trap, but I do think Trap
that's going to be a very good match.
Scary player.
I think Leenock hopes to face Supernova again.
I think so.
And that's like a funny thing to say, because Supernova actually brought Leenock to the brink twice. But Trap is like a much sharper Protoss with his timing attacks than Zest is. And is that something you want to play against as Zerg?
That's true,
I think for most Zergs, that's the scariest type of Protoss.
Man. Well, that does it then for our Zerg player, Leenock. Yeah. For now, at least, excuse me. Zest is going to move on. We're going to take a short little break. When we return, we're going to go on to the losers match and see who's going to be the first player eliminated here in Group B. Stay tuned.